Hi, I am back again with another topic of grammar, that is punctuation. Yes, punctuation. It's simply about a succession of principles that make it easier for readers to follow your train of ideas. These are also known as traffic signals of a language. Correct usage will guide the reader through the reading and make it easier to understand. Placed incorrectly, it can change the meaning of a sentence. Let's have a look at a very simple sentence without punctuation. A woman without her man is nothing. If we apply punctuation, it becomes a woman without her man is nothing. Now, if we apply punctuation in different way, its meaning changes. A woman without her man is nothing. After reading the above example, the meaning must be clear to you about what I am talking. Before getting deep into punctuation, let's talk about capital letters. Yes, capital letters. Its another name is big letter or uppercase in technical terms, like A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on. Now, let's have a look on its uses. It means when and where we are using capital letters in our written statements. Now, first letter in a sentence. The dog is barking. So, the stands for THE. So, T is capital. Come here. So, C is capital. Always use a capital letter for I. I am a good person. Tom and I are good friends. So in both the sentences, I is capital. Capital letter is also used for proper noun, which you have already learned in lecture of parts of speech, like Tom, James, London, and National Museum. Capital letters are also used for festivals, holidays, days of the week, and months of a year, like Christmas, Mother's Day, Sunday, May, and many more. To end the sentence, we use punctuation sign. Firstly, it is used to mark the end of a sentence expressing as statement. To understand it clearly, try to read this. I got the opportunity to visit one of my friends in the city. He lives with his father. They reside in an apartment on the other side of the town. So, as we can see, nothing is clear. No time to breathe. Am I right? Or am I right? After use of period, meaning gets clear. Now read it again. I got the opportunity to visit one of my friends in the city. Full stop. He lives with his father. Again, full stop. They reside in an apartment on the other side of the town. Now, with this, we are very clear that it is having three sentences. Secondly, we can use it to indicate acronym or abbreviation, like Mr. John Cook. So rather than writing MISTER, we can write MR full stop. World Health Organization. We can write W.H.O. It is also used to work with website address. If it is not placed correctly, no web page is going to be opened. For example, www.facebook.com. If it is placed like face.book.com, the page will not work properly, or you can say the web page will not open. Next punctuation sign is question mark. A direct question or interrogative sentence followed by a question mark is not a period. In other words, you can say that when someone is asking the question in its written format, we use the question mark. For example, is there someone knocking at the door? Who is that man talking to mom? Let's move to next punctuation sign, which is known as exclamation points or exclamation signs. Exclamation point or sign is used at the end of a sentence to show a strong feeling of surprise or fear. For example, what a shame! Help, a monster! It can also be used with strong orders like sit down, do it now, don't touch that book. Also, it is usually used after interjection to express sudden feeling of happiness, fear, surprise, anger, etc. Some of the words are hello, hurry, ouch. To improve your expression, let's move to another punctuation which is known as comma. Here we are going to discuss its uses one by one. Firstly, it is used in a list or between noun and noun phrases. For example, I bought 2 apples, 3 oranges, and some grapes. Secondly, it is used before dialogue. For example, John said, comma, hello. Thirdly, to mark out additional information. For example, the boy who is wearing red coat is my brother. Moving further, it can be used before a conjunction like and, or, for, but, and some. It means when introducing an independent clause is also known as coordinator comma. For example, Dad not only washed the car, but he also polished it. Be careful. If independent clauses are short, do not use the comma. Last but not the least, it can be used before and after a parenthetical expression. For example, the best way to see a country, unless you are pressed for time, is to travel on foot. Keep it in mind. If you are in doubt to use a comma, read the sentence aloud. Our next sign is apostrophes. It is used to show the possession and to form contractions. Let's have a look and understand with the help of an example. Firstly, add an apostrophe and an s to singular noun or indefinite pronoun that ends in one or body. For example, someone's problem, John's mother. Secondly, add an apostrophe for plural possessive nouns ending in s. For example, my parents' car. So apostrophe is after s. Pupils' work, ladies' department. Thirdly, add an apostrophe and an s for plural possessive nouns that do not end in s. For example, men's department, people's health, children's playground. Fourthly, add an apostrophe and an s for singular possessive noun that end in s. For example, person's office. These were the different uses of apostrophe sign, but do not use an apostrophe with possessive personal pronoun like yours, hers, its, and so on. This sign also has another use which is known as contractions. It can also be used to show that one or more letters in a contraction have been left out. For example, I am becomes I am. So it's I apostrophe M. Let us becomes let's. Who is becomes whose, and so on. List is too long, but by reading the above examples, it must be clear to you what I am talking about. But keep it in mind, it's a contraction for it is. On the other hand, it's a possessive pronoun, it does not have an apostrophe. Let's move to another punctuation sign, that is quotation mark. It can be single or double. Let's have a look on single quotation mark. It is recommended in keeping with the trend towards the minimal punctuation. Also, it denotes the sources, whether the name of a book, song, or many more. For example, I, Robot contains 9 short stories, of which Little Lost Robot is my favorite. It can be used to add extra emphasis or stress to your text. For example, please take a copy of the lecture slides, not the tutorial ones. Next one is double quotation marks. It is used to put in the exact words that someone says. In other words, when you are using the someone's statements as it is. For example, let's play computer games, said James. Suzanne said, this bike is mine. Next punctuation mark is colons. Colons follow independent clauses and are used to call attention to the information that comes after them. For example, John has only one thing in his mind, girls. Now, girls is a word. John has only one thing on his mind, the girl next door. It is a phrase. John has only one thing on his mind, his finals, his job, and Mary. So it is a list. Remember one thing, never use a colon after a verb that directly introduces a list. For example, the things on John's mind are finals, work, and Mary. It is wrong because we have put colon after R. Next is semicolon. It is a mixture of comma and colon. Semicolons are used to separate clauses or phrases that are related and that receives equal emphasis. Semicolons join independent clauses in a compound sentence if no coordinating conjunction is being used. For example, Mary seemed preoccupied, semicolon, she answered our questions unexpectedly. Let's take another example. He spent a lot for the campaign. However, the majority of the public saw through his act and did not vote for him. Next sign is dash. It is not that dash which is used for having fill ups. It is used to add extra information or comments to sentences. For example, she waited for a letter to receive dash, but nothing came. Next one is hyphen. It is similar to dash but shorter than it and is used to link those words together which are most commonly used in prefixes, compound words, and a smaller number of suffixes. For example, son in law, sugar free, 2/3 majority, or ex mayor, self control, senator elect. These were some words which use hyphen. Moving on, another one is brackets. In this part, we are going to study only the round brackets, not the other one which are used in mathematics. This sign is often used to include extra or additional information into a sentence that can be helpful for clarifying your ideas. For example, the biology experiment, now in bracket it is on photosynthesis. So it becomes the biology experiment was carried out over a 10-week period during last semester. Now, this biology experiment was on photosynthesis. That is why on photosynthesis is written in bracket. Last punctuation sign which we are going to study is Phillips. Don't take its meaning on the basis of its name. Understand it according to its sign, which consists of 3 full stops together, used to show a pause in someone's speech or thought. For example, I think I have won the lottery. This sign builds tension or shows that a sentence is not finished yet, something is still there to be explained. For example, Paul looked up and couldn't believe what he saw. Yes, it's all about punctuation marks or signs. Now, let's start speaking and writing properly with proper pauses because you have learned the punctuation signs completely in detail. Thank you.